I put the caps.
Yesterday, on December 23rd, 2016, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, approved the first ever drug treatment for SMA. It's been approved for all ages, adults too, and all types. Type 3 too. We are so excited. This is so exciting!
Well, I tell you, for over 60 years, we've had the honor of being a partner with Muscular Dystrophy Association. And with all of your work, you have raised over those years well over $500 million. And those dollars going to the research and the treatment developments in order to provide support to wonderful children and MDA families like Natalie Olson's. Our mom and dad, Ann and Dan Olson, were with Natalie today, and to realize that with your work, someone who loves to play the clarinet and sing, someone who was diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy, and someone who has come into 2010 to this convention to be with all of you. As the video indicated, Natalie received her first dose of Spinraza a little over a year ago, and it's the first drug for those with SMA, funded in part by MDA and by IFF members. And it's been so remarkable to see that with the first dose, she was able to bear weight with bracing and support of her walker, and then a few doses later to be able to bear weight unbraced for brief periods of time and no longer needing help for being transferred. And then she made that goal of walking down the aisle for her 6th grade graduation. It's an amazing story, so please let's welcome Natalie and her family and her dad, Olson, Dan Olson. Oh, there they are. I keep looking. Come on out here. We're so proud of you. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you all. When Natalie was six weeks old, she, my wife, and I were heading back to Colorado from Iowa from visiting family when the engine of our SUV caught fire on the highway. Some cars flew by, not noticing, some flew by to get away, and a few stopped to help. And local firefighters rushed towards us to help put out the flames. A little over 2 years later, the three of us were sitting in a hospital room listening to a doctor diagnose Natalie with spinal muscular atrophy. a genetic neurological condition. Our doctor described how Natalie's muscles would slowly weaken over time, how the girl who had toddled into the doctor's office would likely not walk into kindergarten, but roll in a wheelchair, that she would lose her arm function and neck control, and how college depended on whether she was alive at that age. A few more doctors came in and out of the room, evaluating Natalie's muscle tone and lung function, and then a representative from the MDA, backed by the support of the IAFF, rushed towards us, offering support and encouragement and explaining services when it felt like our lives were on fire. In the 10 years since Natalie's diagnosis, the MDA has provided funding for specialist visits, mobility equipment and repairs, and of course, Natalie's favorite week of the year, camp. Each year, Natalie gets to attend an accessible camp free of charge, where she bunks up with other girls her age who share her diagnosis or one like it. Some of the things she said that she likes doing the most are ziplining, swimming, camping, and being in a place where having a wheelchair and big needs is normal. And thanks to advances in care and in advocacy, technology, and the understanding of SMA as a direct result of the funding from the MDA, and maybe partly due to her strong-willed nature, Natalie's disease progressed significantly slower than we originally thought. However, shortly after her 10th birthday, Natalie did lose the ability to walk or to bear weight on her legs. Her leg contractures worsened, and she needed help transferring on a regular basis. Her neck fatigued after just a few hours into the day, and it became difficult to write more than a paragraph at a time. Everyday tasks like washing her hair, pouring milk onto cereal, and opening heavy doors became a challenge. She used her breathing equipment more frequently, and for the first time had to take her cough assist device to school. But then, as mentioned in the video, just before Christmas in 2016, when Natalie was 11, the FDA approved the first ever drug treatment for SMA, a treatment funded in part by the MDA, by you. Natalie received her first dose of Spinraza a little over a year ago, and we were hopeful to see positive results, but really had no idea what was in store. Within one dose, she was once again able to bear weight with bracing and the support of her walker. Within a few doses, she was bearing weight unbraced for brief periods of time and no longer needed our help transferring. She regained neck and arm strength, and she was able to complete all of her writing at school. Her legs kicked out of the water for the very first time while she was swimming at water PT. She took her first steps with arm crutches in place of her walker, and at the end of the school year, she had made it her goal to walk down the aisle for her 6th grade graduation. Right now, she's anticipating the arrival of her new manual wheelchair, which will now meet most of her daily needs versus having a big, powerful wheelchair. I want to thank you all for your support. I want to thank each one of you for standing outside in all kinds of weather, for coming in during your off days, and for not accepting good enough, for advocating for our family, for rushing into situations that look hopeless, for putting out the flames, for bringing back hope to families. The IAFF and the fire department it represents have a dear place in our family. Your dedication and loyalty to the MDA over these years has helped bring hope to the families, hope to walk again, maybe even for the first time. Hope to live a full life, hope for families who would have otherwise been told that they have to bury their children. And we're not done yet. There are other diseases to conquer, so many places that need men and women like you to rush in while others rush out, and more families to bring hope to. Don't ever forget that when you stand in the street filling those boots, you're changing lives. You've forever changed ours. Thank you.
Powerful. Thank you.
Now, how about you just want to just say just a couple words and thank you to the star of the show.
Thank you, firefighter, for supporting the MDA and being who you are. Happy 100th anniversary.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Don. Thank you. Thank you.